Those of now where they want marry a second wife, or you don't already dey into relationship, you dey a second wife, third wife, fourth wife. Oh yeah, now I'm more popular now. One of una cosmate, all of una dey into polygamy together. They don't move fertilizer. This woman wanna dey see so new woman wey they just marry under 1 week, as she never go enjoy her na. How her never gonna be kumaron. Now they don't slice the neck na. They slice fertilizer. When I know the way they keep for her and can build her agenda, then they call it stab her ties. Not be smart enough, now they happen. Woman will just go. You never even reach 1 week, now they move so. As the killer finish, the family of the husband, they say they won't rush bury her because of saying a Muslim. They say, hala. The family of the woman saying, hala. We must go check who do this thing. Police must do investigation before we bury her. Not be smoke big. If you see where they drag dead body for inside mortuary, they drag the woman, they go like, they drag the woman. Those of you never watch that movie.
Angry family members and residents of Abeka at the police morgue here in Accra. They are here to prevent the mortal remains of their sister and friend Monira tomorrow from being buried. According to close relatives, she died on Tuesday, September 6, 2022. Her lifeless body was found in a pool of blood in her marital home with a cut to her throat and her thigh.
Immediately we bury her. You see, we Muslims find that the issue is that our bodies, dead body carry like I can't talk much. It's serious.
The family suspects foul play. Mohammed Samba is her brother.
If you see the way the lady is mutilated, so bad. I had a call around 9 o'clock p.m. that my sister has been stabbed. That was the word stabbed. So I thought I was going to see a body with some small stabbing, but quite unfortunate. It's a different story altogether. She was killed in a room, dragged into a different room in a compound house. So the body was found in the rival's room actually. The way she died wasn't natural, and yet we need to know how she was murdered or killed. That's it. When you live in such, I don't know whether you went to the place. For you to live in a society where even if you are beating your son in a room, your neighbor will hear it. So someone to be murdered or killed in that manner and dragged into a different room and nobody tell us anything, and you want us to be buried just immediately after she was. Charlie, we need to sit down properly, look into what went into the killing.
Monira too had been married for less than 2 weeks. She went into the marriage as the second wife. The family of her husband was earlier at the morgue requesting for her remains to bury, but Moniratu's family will not allow that. They want the police to complete autopsy before the body is buried.
Yabano wewu na wewu nunsu no eye nipa enekun. Nipa na ekun nunsu no enye se nsa eye sekan ye twa ne minute se aboa ponche. Enti se wo besa ye se adentina mebuafu a tituru adekunti a mebuafu ni sanse nipa nya aboa
me pa ban a chew aboafo mu aye na yen hwehwe di okun minyan enu ane me hawo o ware Sunday ye twem ni 1 week no ware ye.
Joy News is learning Moniratu's husband together with his first wife have been arrested and detained by the police. Member of Parliament Yusuf Isaka Jaja is calling for calm.
There is no need to fight. We are all speculating as to who did this barbaric act. We cannot justify it. We are not the security personnel to do that. Until that is done, you can only guess, you can only speculate, you can only allege. You get me? So I'm calling on both families to restrain and to exercise patience. Some of us are in this matter, and we will ensure that justice is served, and so there is no need to fight. After all, the person is late.
He's also urging the police to thoroughly investigate the incident.
We are calling on them is to ensure that the culprits are apprehended and are punished according to the law, just to serve as a deterrent. And let me repeat again, if this is not done to the latter, then it's like we will not be surprised to experience such situations again, not just in this community, but the Zongo communities where Muslims are dominant.
Some family members fear the situation, if not properly dealt with, will pave way for incidents of such nature to occur. Monira too was only 32 years old and was preparing for her next birthday later in September.
Woman, polygamy where people they enjoy like the way Regina Daniel husband they enjoy this thing now. No, I want you bring problem for so. So more the way people they enjoy now. This one just 1 week then they kill us so slice neck and everything. Then when they say we be Muslim, we are religion. No, the religion not they did this so. These are human being and human being I die so. Then when they just say we settle it out of court, out of this thing. Human being don't die and they say I won't settle. You cannot settle. So far human being don't die for somebody somewhere. Whoever do this thing, they must put out a book. Settle. African people will settle. Now they bring a map, they bring people, they call. The family of the girl say Nehi Kaba. Namely where I go. So those of you now they do marry say on be 4th, 5th, 5th. Number 2, shine ubia we wanna abi or you wanna go straight or down is no time. So wrong news. I go to come outside for Africa. For the past how many days now the world they cry. I cannot say the world, some part of the world. Our mama died. We say, who died? They say Queen Elisabeth II. As people they cry, one of our brothers for South Africa, they look everybody, say, Una they cry. It's like Una don't forget history. He said they're not going to ever cry for South Africa. Those of them don't know the man they call Julius Malema. You get hurt. He said they're not they cry for anybody who colonize them, cause problem, thief their gold, thief Africa diamond, because they either they buga, because they sovatalize our people. He said they say me they go straight to history, where Queen Elisabeth family do our ancestors, our people. He said not be here. He said, so he no go more anybody will be thief, anybody will be murderer, anybody will be criminal. Those of them,
it will be wrong of me to leave this mic without saying to Britain and everybody else who care, we do not mourn the death of a colonizer and a murderer who came and killed our people, and she's wearing proudly a stolen coat on her head. We have nothing to do with the Queen. Today, people tweet, hey, we mourn the Queen. But when Helen Zille tweeted and said that not everything is bad about colonialism, you all said Helen Zille is a racist. How can she praise colonialism? By mourning and praising the Queen, you are celebrating colonialism. You are not different from Helen Zille. We were not colonized by the land called Britain. We were colonized by the leadership of Britain that killed our people. So we must not be asked to do wrong things here. We are very clear. The Queen does not represent anything good. Britain has got a lot of gold, yet they don't have a single mine of gold. Those are stolen goods. We must talk about reparation. We must talk about the return of the gold. We must talk about the return of the stolen diamond, and not these other side issues which are not important to us. How can you be oppressed for so many years? After liberation, you've got nothing to show that we have been liberated. You have no land, you have got no bank, you've got no mine. The only thing you have is a hatred of other Africans. It was this Queen who gave us surnames, by the way. This Britain, we did not have surnames. We were calling each other Kadireto Jarina. The surnames and the addresses, we did not have an address because they move up from year to year according to the season. So today we are given address, we are given borders, we are given surnames because we must be controlled by a certain nation which we must celebrate. We, as black people, everywhere else we are one thing. You said you don't want the people of Zambia, you don't want the people of Zimbabwe, you don't want the people of Swaziland. When we're putting the king of the Zulus, there were Zulus from Zambia, there were Zulus from Zimbabwe, there were Zulus from Malawi. But you are beating up a Malawian and saying you don't want Malawian. You even speak in Zulu that you don't want Malawians. You don't know that person is a Zulu like you who left here during those years to go and settle that side. The coronation of the king should have actually educated all of us that indeed we are one thing, because there is Mpofu in Zimbabwe, there is Mpofu in Eastern Cape, there is Mpofu in Parliament now as we speak, representing public protector. So which Mpofu you don't want? Because all these Mpofus are one thing, they are Mpofus. So we are one thing as the continent, and we must embrace each other and demand the return of our land. PAC, we congratulate you for having held a successful conference, because they don't want black people to meet and resolve their issues peacefully. They showed us thugs there who were pushing gates and all of that so that they can perpetuate a narrative that the PAC is disorganized. You disappointed a lot of enemies of black people. When we meet as black people, we must discuss and resolve our problems ourselves without impressing the enemy. We want the PAC, we want Azapo, we want ATM, we want all of us to come together and make sure that we fight for a historical mission, which is the return of the land. I will never meet people and not talk about the land. Even the public protector must investigate the stealing of the land by these people who came here to steal our land. Thank you very much for your discipline. We thank you for your discipline, because every time we meet like this, they expect wrong things. You demonstrated discipline coming this way, and when you go back home, please continue to be disciplined. And if you arrive home late due to transport issues, make sure you deliver females first at their homes before you go home, and make sure they are safe. The only way to make sure they are safe, you wait at the gate until the light goes on. Then it means she is inside. Then you can go home. We must love each other and protect each other and see each other as equals. Amanda! Amanda! Viva South Africa! Viva!
Woman, oh, you matter. If you see statement where they write, oh yeah, nah. If you like say they write the statement for grant, they don't know say the queen go soon die. Then they take right down. Oh, only this statement just scatter full online, full Africa. I bet put her, maybe people see her there. You say, oh yes, Julius Malema. Those of them don't know South Africa now day. A lot of people for Africa hate the truth, but they won't say. Moko always say the truth. Some of them know say this man not far from the truth. But some of them say, oh, na grandpapa do like this, like this. I don't know when people rich, when I say me they forgive the sin what they do. But when poor man, poor, both is sin everything now they do. If they ever say me they start to they talk about sins of the ancestors, people where the ancestors cause go supposed to worry. Now the Queen Elisabeth, but you not worry. Your papa, your grandpapa, your great-great-grandpa not do anything. You do church, they kabat. How many people your back key? They even say me they talk about key. If people start to bring people where key come, they will live life past you. They just disturb your papa. We just do their house that they are caused that my brother and I are hungry. So now they go to not get something. Rubbish, Malema or here. Okay, go straight to other news.